In this lesson, I'm going to show you 2 funk beats that you should know. If you'd like to know more, there's a free mini course with 5 funk beats that you should know at StantonMooreDrumAcademy.com. To get that free 5-beat mini course and the PDF that goes with it, just click the link below. I've made most of my living playing funk, touring with my band Galactic over the last 25 years, playing with a lot of other people as well. I absolutely love funk, and I think that learning these beats will get you a nice head start. These show up in jam sessions. They show up in different songs. These beats can be applied to many, many other tunes as well. The first beat we're going to cover is Cold Sweat, played by Clyde Stubblefield. This is James Brown, 1967. I can't tell you how many times I've been on gigs or at jam sessions where a guitar player will say a tune that I've never heard of. And he'll say, just play Cold Sweat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and get a boom. And then there you are. That's all you get. So you better know how to play Cold Sweat if you want to start playing some gigs and showing up to jam sessions. But this is a fantastic beat. I'm going to show it to you right now. Notice with this beat that the and of 4 in the first measure is displaced. So boom, and that happens in a lot of different beats. And of course, David Garibaldi with Tower of Power, he started using displaced beats, displaced backbeats all over the place and got very creative with that. But this is one of the first tunes that we can see that has a displaced backbeat like this. And being from 1967, this is one of the earliest actual examples of funk, and this displaced backbeat makes this one of the essential tunes that you got to learn in funk. Clyde Stubblefield himself calls this a boogaloo beat, and this beat shows up in countless boogaloo instances, so this is a good one to get under your hands and feet. The next beat we're going to look at is Jabbo Starks. Now, Jabbo Starks and Clyde Stubblefield were the 2 drummers that played the longest with James Brown. They were with him around the same time, and they both played slightly different style. Clyde was a little straighter, and Jabbo tended to swing things a little bit more. And this right-hand pattern, you'll notice, is very similar to the jazz ride cymbal pattern. This beat that I'm about to show you is the beat for Soul Power, but it's also the beat that shows up on Sex Machine and a few other of the grooves and songs that Jabbo Starks played on. Notice with this one, the right hand is playing a pattern that is very similar to the jazz ride cymbal pattern. It's not the full jazz ride cymbal pattern, but it is very similar in the right hand. Check this out. Then we take that, move it over to the hi-hat, open up the hi-hat on the and of 1 and the and of 3, and this becomes the hand pattern for a lot of what Jabbo Starks is doing. I had the privilege of having dinner one night for a Vic Firth artist dinner with Clyde Stubblefield and Jabbo Starks, And towards the end of the dinner, once everybody was starting to get a little bit more comfortable with each other, I went and sat next to Jabbo and I said, man, I love your playing. I'm a huge fan, of course. I said, to me, it seems like you might have been getting your right hand pattern, ding, 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 da, ding, 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 da, ding. And I literally tapped this out on his knee. And he was laughing. And I said, and then what you're doing with the left hand is almost like a slight bit of jazz independence. And he said, aha. He said, you got that. He's like, you picked up on that, huh? I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, not a lot of people pick up on that. He said, but yeah, that's exactly where it's coming from, is his experience playing jazz. So one of the variations that we can do is where we play a little less in the left hand, but you're going to notice that this is very similar to some of the stuff that you can do when you're swinging out with the right hand and then playing snare drum commentary in the left. When I come over and play on the ride cymbal, you'll notice that the E of 1 and the Ah of 2, this is very similar to some of the stuff you would play on the snare drum when swinging out. So if you've been working on some of your jazz independence, this won't be any issue for you. But if you have a little bit of a challenge with this, you may want to slow it down and work on this coordination and then put that backbeat in there. And then the hands will be what Jabbo Starks is playing on a lot of his beats. Now there are several variations to this beat that I really dig. One is where we can add the and of 4 going into the 1. I talk about this often. This really helps ground and solidify your groove. So boom, sa, boom, boom, sa, boom, boom. That really helps ground things. And as Robert Walter says when he plays with me, he's like, man, I love when you do that. It lands the 1, it sets up the 1, and it's so satisfying. So we're going to check that out right now. So in James Brown's music and in funk in general, it's all about that 1. Boom, boom, bow. And then if you set up that 1 with the and of 4, then that really makes things more solid. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 And it starts to really resemble a heartbeat, right? Boom, 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 boom. So I like adding that in on a lot of my grooves. You'll notice that this happens in New Orleans' second line a lot too. Boom, boom. Another variation that I like with this beat is to play 2 hits on the bass drum, 1 and, 3 and, 1 and, 3 and. And that really creates a driving forward momentum with this beat. For the last variation on this beat, we're going to go up to the ride cymbal, which Jabbo Starks did often. And we're going to play 3 and then we're going to leg into that and of 4 to really set up that 1 and make this beat very grounded and satisfying. You'll hear me talk a lot about dynamics and about contrast and about nuances. So these Jabbo Starks beats sound great when they're played with the right nuances and the right dynamics. But if you were to speed this beat up, take all the smaller notes and play them just as loud as the backbeat, this can start to sound like the worst beat in the world. So don't do that. Don't play like that. I've heard so many drummers play that beat, and it's all about playing with the nuance. You got to play the smaller notes quieter than the accented backbeat, and you also have to swing the notes a little bit. Right then I just played it too straight. I have lessons on playing in between straight and swing and getting that feel that's in between. You can check out that in between the cracks lesson to see more about this. But make sure that you're playing with a phrasing that is in between straight and swing, but maybe a little bit on the swing side, but not straight like that and not with all the dynamics loud like that. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and to get the full 5-beat free mini course and the PDF, just click the link below. So please have fun shedding these, stay funky. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell. Also, would love to have you come check out the Drum Academy, StantonMooreDrumAcademy.com. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I'll be seeing y'all down the line.